me. Yeah. Whatever. I do like that part of it. And you went back out there. You weren't be like, guys are still assholes. Some are.
But I can't.
Got right back on to look for a man in a different kind of uniform.
There you go. I mean, he wasn't wearing. Does
a uniform with a hat help? Does name tag help?
No, more like muscular, physical fit body.
Fireman.
I like firemen. Well, a lot of them, some are not physically fit.
Some aren't.
Some aren't.
And they have weird hours.
They do.
Yeah.
When they say that, they're in the firehouse.
But you're 40.
But you
6, yes.
And you have 3 kids. You have weird hours, don't you?
I do, but when the kids aren't with me for a week at a time, I'm able to. Yeah.
That's another point. You have to lay that out.
You
have to lay out a path to your availability.
Correct.
So if they're like 3 kids, she's never available, but you're like, no, every other week.
I'm available.
I'm in.
Yeah. Or
I have
an older daughter that can babysit, and I could leave them for a few hours if needed. So, yeah.
There you go. What have you noticed? Are the girls more likely to... Do you pick up on that you're like, they want to go out now? They want to ask? Or you're getting chit-chatted, friend zone, all that stuff, too?
Lots of chit-chatting. And I don't know if that's because it's just that's those apps or if it's the latent effects of the pandemic. I have to do some more research on that as time goes by. And then I know, and I've talked about this before at the Great Love Debate shows, I notice a lot of women, when they get past their 30s, they're into their 40s, they're very, very, very set in their ways and very independent. And they have yoga on Tuesdays and they have this on Thursday. They have a 45-minute window on a Sunday at 11 a.m. and that's when we're going to go on a date. I don't do coffee dates. That to me, that's a business meeting. If you can't commit to like a dinner on a Thursday or happy hour drinks on a Friday, then you don't really want to date anyone. So, and maybe I'm being too...
People are looking always have been looking for a reason not to do things.
Yeah.
Because they're looking for a reason not to get hurt.
Right.
And so if I can lead a fairly satisfying life and do these things, whatever, the dating app that's going to win out, and maybe some of them are doing this already, I should know this, but they're not, are the ones who gamify it to the point where you're going to get rewarded for moving offline. Like if you go back 5 times and then, you both want an ice cream and you got to meet at Haagen-Dazs to get it together. That's it. Now their goal is to keep you locked into the dating apps. That's the thing about the dating apps. They don't want you to shut the phone off or delete it or really find somebody.
Correct.
They want you hooked on the process. But the ones who have the process that says, let's like a treasure hunt, let's go meet and find this and we win $50 no matter what is, those are the ones that are going to combine the sort of the game playing, the fun, make like an escape room, and we're going to get out of this thing. That's a $1 billion idea I just threw out there.
Boom.
I know. Even Facebook now has the dating app, and that's great because sometimes it'll you could see who they're friends with.
Which never judge somebody by their friends, but that's good that you brought it up.
But it's always good to ask.
That was my next question.
Do you know so and so?
Do you consider Facebook to be a dating app? Can somebody ask you out cold? Hey, I saw your picture. Sorry, I'm messaging you.
Yeah, they message, and then if you
do you like that? Because a lot of women are like, no,
they can message me, but it's like a private. It's just through Facebook.
Right.
It's not through. And
then, through Facebook. Are you okay with listen, I saw you in that picture. I thought you were beautiful.
Oh, no. Brian means off the Facebook dating app, just on regular Facebook, right?
Yeah, on regular
Facebook.
Yeah.
Can I oh my God, that girl's friends with her. She's hot. Can I go for her?
That would probably go through like one of the private messages, and I would probably have to accept them as a friend for them probably to message me.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
It's easier on Instagram with a DM.
Are you offended by LinkedIn asking out?
I never got picked up on LinkedIn.
Guys in uniform aren't on LinkedIn very much. They have jobs.
Right. I think they even have a uniform dating app.
Yeah. So you want firemen only?
I don't.
There's a website for that.
There is a website for that.
Is there?
No, yeah, there is.
What's it called? Like Stars and Stripes or something? What is it called?
Something.
For just dudes in uniform?
Hot Burning Love.
That's
sounds like
question.
a gay
there's farmers only. There's niche fetishes. You have a fetish.
Yes.
Huh? There are. Is it a fetish? What started this
fetish?
Did somebody come and rescue you at a young age?
Started on Romper Room.
It's not uniforms. It's first responders.
It's first responders.
You have a rescue fetish.
I love firemen. I really do. For people that know me, see me,
Over cops?
Not much cops. I mean, I was talking to a canine cop, and he was sexy as hell. But it was firemen. It always has been. I started young, being on Romper Room, and when I was on Romper Room, they had the little cardboard cutout that we would have to hold and, make believe we were driving in the little cardboard cutout. Growing up, yes, my best friend's father was a fireman. I grew up in Coney Island, Brooklyn, and all the firemen, they did rescue my grandmother when she had a house apartment fire. But I always have. I think it's something with the heat and
if you grow up in Coney Island, is Coney Island a good date?
It is a good date.
So you're like, let's go Cyclone?
Let's go on Cyclone, Boardwalk, Nathan's, yeah.
It's awesome, right?
It's awesome.
The amusement park is always a great date. Wow.
But I love the beach. So I'm ready. You have a picnic, blanket, wine.
You're in.
Yeah, I'm in. Like, yeah.
That is really cool here. Like, it's so easy to do.
And here, we're in South Florida as we record this. We're at Pod Populi Podcasts for the people in Boca Raton, Florida. But yeah, South Florida. Being able to watch a sunset or
sunrise, yes.
being in that's a huge advantage over a lot of places. But every place is within shouting distance of something that is doable like that.
Yes.
So if you're out with the firemen and you see like a cat stuck in a tree, will you be like, will you do this for me? Can you go for it?
Yeah.
Or is he like, I'm off the clock, I'm not doing it?
I'm sure he would do it. I would say I wouldn't do it because I'm allergic, but he can.
Wow.
Oh, you're allergic to cats.
That's so funny.
You were on TV once for this fetish?
I was on Ricky Lake for women that love men in uniform. So it was a dating game. Yes. Straight out of high school.
Really?
Yep.
And did you get a date out of it?
We all hung out after the show, but I was expecting like GQ model fireman. I was right out of high school, so I was 18.
Firemen are not always the calendar firemen.
Not always, but the calendar ones. Yeah. I've been to a calendar roundup in Davie.
A calendar roundup.
I mean, I definitely have a friend who's like, redheads. This fireman thing, it exists. I definitely have heard of it before, but I've never met someone that actually.
I know.
I do.
Is Halloween, if they're dressed as a fireman, is that okay?
Ooh, that's
sufficient?
A lot of them start their conversation, I don't have a uniform. I don't wear a uniform, but I could definitely get one.
And is that fine?
I mean, yeah, dress up is fine.
This sounds like a different
I was a firefighter for Moonfest, not last year, maybe the year before. And then my friend was my Dalmatian. But walking in the streets, you hear the guys going, "What can I make you to say moo?" And I said, "Look at me and look at her. Oh. She's not a cow. She's a Dalmatian going with a firefighter."
Oh, guys they're similar,
right?
Or it's a bad costume.
No, it was great, but
okay.
I guess they would just.
All right. So, are you, as we record this, would you describe yourself as hopeful? Because we're selling hope here at the Great Love Debate. Are you hopeful, not just for your own prospects, but for, I think that, because here's what I do believe, and we've talked about this on prior podcasts. I think over the last 6 years, three things have happened to have thinned the dating pool, but it has left the people in there. It's a leaner cut of love. We've trimmed the fat. Me Too got rid of a lot of people on both sides. Got rid of a lot of men because they're like, I can't handle this anymore. Either they were total pervs and they were outed, or the ones who are like, you know what, I don't know what we can do. It's not worth it to me. I'm just going to sit home. And we also lost a lot of women who were like, you know what, men are assholes. I don't need the shit. So that carved things out.
My dating app Chronicle posts, people are like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
When I post it on Facebook and I post it on Instagram, the responses that I get, they're like, listen, that's like stand-up comedy right there.
Right.
You need to write a book. The opening stuff that they say.
You need to do a podcast.
I do podcasts. That's why I'm here.
The second thing was the election cycle, however you felt about Trump and all that kind of stuff. Those angry people, a lot of them dropped out.
Yes.
And then a lot of people, by being locked down last year, decided, like, you know what, I'm fine with my cat and my dog and my Zoom and I'm never going out. So we've lost a lot of people, but those people were not people that you should have wanted to date anyway.
Anyway, right.
So moving forward, I think the people that are out there have a fresh mindset, are hopeful, and really thought about both what they wanted and how to go about finding that over the last year. Is that reasonable?
That's reasonable. I mean, I definitely... I'm hopeful. And sometimes I was like, all right, I'm not going to go on the dating apps today. I'm just going to, just be out there and just, be alive and just enjoy the moment. If I'm driving in the car and I see a cute guy, yeah, he's cute. driving on the highway last night, going to Delray Beach. My daughters and myself, we were checking out this guy in a truck, and he was waving and smiling. And my daughter was like, "Go get his digits, go get his number." Yeah. And I was like, "All right, he's gone." But there'll always be someone else, and it's always the right place at the right time. I'm definitely open to meeting. When it happens, it happens. Mm-hmm. I just know my worth, and I'm not dealing with the bullshit anymore. It's
Good.
Just,
now, seeing somebody in the car, is the honk the move? Is it a wave? Do you have a move? Do you have a car?
I usually give,
You flashed him.
Is that see, that didn't look like a. Let me see your look. Let me see your where the stoplight.
A little eye.
A little eye.
Yeah, maybe a hair of the movement, or maybe get my lip gloss out and.
Oh yeah, lip gloss at the stoplight.
Mm-hmm.
Good move. I like it. Jonathan, same thing. Are you hopeful?
Very, very hopeful. Because I know, just personally, I feel hopeful, but I think collectively, people, we can't get any lower than last year. Come on, I mean,
famous last words.
You know what? You're right. I better be careful. But
we were shut down. We were arguing and we were rioting.
Yeah,
good times.
So I'm definitely hopeful, and I think you're right. I think we shed some of the dead weight off of these apps and things, and there is no way I'm meeting anyone on these apps, but I'm gonna stick with them. I think in a way, it can kind of give you confidence. Then you can go into the real world. I don't know. I mean,
there are means to an end.
Yeah,
You've said forever here. Get your head out of your apps.
Yeah,
but they're a way to connect.
Yeah,
you have to know how to use them to connect. To move
and dick pics aren't
to a new place.
The way
they aren't. I've never sent one.
They can be the way, as we've talked about. Some women, not saying all,
are asking for them.
I've said this, and those of you who come to my live show have heard this. I'm not endorsing them. I'm not saying anything. But to Jonathan's point, if a guy sends a dick pic to 100 women, 3 will respond. If a guy sends a poem to 100 women, 3 will respond, and everything in between. The problem is the women are not responding to the other 97 things he tries enough, so it's always one end of the spectrum or the other. If the women would be like, you know what, that was an awkward opening line, or wasn't that funny, but I'm gonna give it another shot anyway, the dick pics would go away. I believe that. So
I got a dick pic, and the guy, I said, when he sent it, I was floored, and I was looking at it for a moment. And I responded back. I was like, I think you need to go get checked because I think you're infected.
Oh, God.
Well, that's good. But a lot of women have.
He had a pearl.
Ew.
And I was
I'm
like,
nauseous right now.
And I said to myself, I'm not familiar with it. He was like, it's an insert that gives the woman pleasure. He goes, go look it up. So I Googled it.
Yeah.
And that was the conversation with, one of my friends,
So it was a conversation starter.
It was a conversation starter, but that did not look pleasurable.
Look healthy. Now, a lot of women, and I think this is a smart move, have a really, I would say, impressive dick pic on their end, and they fire that right back. Oh, we're doing dick pics here? And you send back one. You send one back.
Oh, that would be
bigger,
great.
better one. Yeah. Say, no, I'm looking more like for this. And then he's done. All right. As we always do, the first time that somebody's on the podcast for the first time, which both of you have never been on this podcast before, we play something called Worst Date or First Date. So, Ricky Lake refugee, you either have to give us the very best first date you've ever had or the absolute worst date you've ever had. Your choice.
I'm trying to see worse. I'm trying to.
So the guy with the other than the room question mark, that was a pretty good date.
That was a pretty good date.
All right, so you can give me the worst date or absolutely the best first date. Dead air is not good in podcast.
I know. I'm trying to think of.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah,
sure.
I'm trying to think of the
Jonathan
worst.
goes first. We're going to come back to you. Jonathan, you go.
I'm going to go way back into the personal archives, but it's the greatest. And this is back in Atlanta. I was just, basically Caligula. But so, and in those days, I was still in the bar business, and I was bartending, and this really beautiful woman was by herself, and I was closing up shop, and she says, with a heavy Southern redneck accent, she said, "We're going out." And so we hopped into her Camaro. I'm not making this up. And we drove about 90 miles an hour down Peachtree Road, and we went to this late night club called Backstreets. And upstairs they had a drag show, the famous Charlie Brown's Review. Had a great time. It's then 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and she drives me to my apartment, and I'm like, "Oh, you can park here." She's like, "Babe, we had a great time, and I ain't coming upstairs. And I'm like, but it was like the greatest first date because we laughed the whole time.